I think I found some of my new favorite models. Hello there, welcome back to the channel. It is Richie here from Dowie After Dark. How are you all? I hope you're all well. And today I have a short video for you. Get it? Short dwarf channel. Right. So today I'm not going to be talking about rules. I'm going to be talking about models, and in particular, what models that I quite like to use. I've recently stumbled upon a new designer for 3D prints, which I really adore. I just want to start by saying that this is not a paid advertisement at all. I am not being paid, and I just really like the models. I feel quite passionate about the fact that there shouldn't be model gatekeeping in the old world. I do understand that some of the people that have been in the game a really long time like to see just Games Workshop models. I've also been in the hobby for a really long time myself, and I think that if you like models, you should be able to use the models that you really like yourself. There are some really nice 3D sculpts coming out at the moment, and if you have a 3D printer, or if you have access to like an Etsy page or eBay, then you can buy some models and save yourself the hassle of trying to track down those really old Games Workshop models. Don't get me wrong, I do love the old classic models myself. I have bought thousands and thousands of pounds of them over the years. But as many of you know who watch my channel, my current army of royal clans is 3D printed from Highland Miniatures. Now, I really like those models, but the only problem that I'm finding with the Highland Miniatures is that as people couldn't really get a hold of the Games Workshop Dwarves, then everyone started printing Highland Miniatures, which is amazing. Like, I absolutely love the sculpts, but there are some new sculptors coming out, and I really like these. So I think for my next dwarf army, I am going to be using this company, which is White Angel Miniatures. I think personally in this hobby that you should be able to use any models that you want to use. As long as they look cool, as long as they're your favorite models going into that battle and they look aesthetically pleasing, then I am all for that. And let's face it, if you're coming in from an old game and you don't have that nostalgia vibe, so say you're coming from Age of Sigmar or from 40k and you think the older models are a bit derpy, then definitely I think the 3D printing route is probably for you, as you're probably not getting that nostalgia hype that a lot of us older players do. Like, how many times have you heard, I really want to play that game, but I don't like the models? Now, there is something you can do about that. So, like I said before, I like to use 3D printed models. I've also got some third-party models in my army, so from Screeball Miniatures, for instance, but I am currently printing and painting some models from White Angel Miniatures. Now, I've just finished working on my White Dwarf from White Angel Miniatures. I absolutely love working on this sculpt. It's so crisp, it's so clean, and it's a really nice model. It definitely has some of the old Games Workshop vibes, but then brought up to date with some of the Age of Sigmar vibes as well, which I actually really like. As I've said before, I did play Age of Sigmar while Warhammer Fantasy was dead, and I do really like the newer models. Don't get me wrong, I do have a lot of nostalgia. If something can be bigger and better, then that's all good for me. Today, I just really wanted to highlight that there are some new companies coming out which have some really nice sculpts that you can use for your armies in the game, especially for those armies that aren't particularly out yet or to struggle to get the models from, such as the High Elves, the Wood Elves, the Chaos Dwarves, and also some of the units from the Dark Elves. Now, White Angel Miniatures has full ranges for these armies that are absolutely stunning. I really like all of these. Now, I am slightly biased because I absolutely love the dwarves that he's created. I am definitely going to be making my next dwarven army out of these. He also has some gyrocopters in the works, so I am super excited to see them. Like I said before, this isn't paid advertisement at all. I just feel quite strongly about these. I just think because he's a smaller company and he's coming up with such nice sculpts, I think he deserves a little bit of recognition, considering I am actually using some of these models in my army, so I thought I would do a little video on it, as these are becoming some of my new favorite models. So luckily they have given me permission to be able to talk about them, and I am super excited to show you some of the models. So if you like your old world models to have an old Games Workshop vibe, but then made slightly bigger to fit in with the newer models, and updated stylistically so they fit in with those newer models as well, and also some of the Age of Sigmar models that you're putting into your armies, then this is definitely a good company for you to look at. For me personally, I am a massive fan of all of the dwarf models. Now, whether this be a manling and his dwarf companion that are traveling around the world, there are sculpts for these, which I have printed off myself and I'm going to get painted up very soon, so keep an eye out. To the Slayers, which have got more of an Age of Sigmar aesthetic, for those of you who prefer the more kind of modern aesthetic for them. To the brand new Rangers, which are absolutely stunning. Also, this Grudge Thrower I'm going to be using and replacing all of my Grudge Throwers with, because that model is absolutely beautiful and I really rate it. For those of you who've been struggling to get your hands on any Chaos Dwarves from Games Workshop, then White Angel Miniatures has the Infernal Empire for you, which has a wide variety of models which you can use instead of those Chaos Dwarves. So you don't have to go out and buy stupid eBay prices. You can can print these off or get these printed for you, and you can have an army ready to go. I really like these because they're a mix of the 5th edition with the big hats, but then redesigned to have an almost very modern feel to them. Those hobgoblins even look like they could fit in with Age of Sigmar armies. They are very, very nice models. Another army that's been doing very well in the game so far, and I know a lot of people want to play them but just can't get a hold of the models, are the Wood Elves. Now, the White Angel Miniatures Wood Elves are probably some of the nicest that I think I've seen, and I did used to own a Wood Elf army. I really rate these. They look so Games Workshop, so classic, but then at the same time much more modernized, and they just look really fun to paint. So for those knife ears out there, please go and have a look at these if you fancy some new models. Definitely a lot easier to get a hold of these than it is the Games Workshop ones. Now you just have a look at some of these Dark Elf proxies, which are the Slaves of Darkness, and these models are absolutely stunning. They definitely keep in with the old Games Workshop vibe, and very, very in keeping with your armies that you've got already. I really like these. They're not too over the top, they're not too crazy. They definitely fit in with any of your Games Workshop models that you've got already. As some of the other 3D sculpts can be far too crazy, and when you print them, they're far too brittle. These actually look quite substantial, and they do really look like that you can use them on the tabletop and fit in with the aesthetics that were there already. These are definitely made for gamers, and from a gamer himself. Something really interesting that White Angel Miniatures has done is create a roadmap so you can see exactly what's coming out. So if you are interested, you can have a look at that and see what's coming out. So let's just have a quick dive into their Patreon page. White Angel Miniatures offer 3 main reward tiers for the casual collectors, plus 3 tiers for professionals who might want commercial licenses to sell. The 3 reward tiers for regular users start with White Army tier. It's a great way to get started if you're looking to dip your toes into the monthly STL drops. This is a very cheap option to get all of those models. Moving forward, there is the White Capital, which gets you more perks, and the top level, which is White Council, which gives you access to entire collections each month. So lots of choices depending on your budget and also what you're looking for. Now, this is absolutely brilliant when you pair this with the fact that White Angel Miniatures are offering a 50% discount if you sign up to their Patreon on My Mini Factory. So if you want to grab an absolute bargain, sign up to the Patreon and you can get some really, really nice discounts on those models. Now let's check out what's available on this month. So the November release features 3 factions that I think that all Old World players are going to love. The Dark Elves, the Sun Elves, and the Infernal Dwarves. How nice are all of these models? Now, if you want access to these, just sign up to the Patreon or go onto My Mini Factory, but if you do want the discounts, you need to sign up to the Patreon first. White Angel Miniatures also has a selection of previous releases on My Mini Factory, so if you missed them in the past couple of months, then you can pick up those STLs from here, so you can get those models very, very cheaply. Seriously, these sculpts are absolutely fantastic, and if you're building a unique army and you love collecting well-sculpted miniatures, then this company is good for you to use. I have personally printed from loads of different sculptors. Some of my favourites have been Highland Miniatures and Bestiarum, but I do think that this designer needs some limelight. I'm going to be putting down below all of the links below to their Patreon and all of their web pages and Facebooks. Now, if you want to go and have a look at them, you can have a look through their entire back catalogue, and if you want to get signed up, that would be absolutely amazing. Now, just remember, there is a 50% discount if you do join up to their Patreon, which I think is an absolutely great deal, especially if you want to get that Wood Elf army done or those Chaos Dwarves and you've kind of been struggling getting those models. And if you want to save a bit of money, then that's always good with me. This is my White Dwarf that I've printed and painted from White Angel Miniatures, just so you can have a look at some of the detail that's on this model. I really enjoy painting this. It was really fun and all of the details are really crisp. Definitely good to use on the tabletop. And it will be seeing some tournaments near you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to proxy him as just a unit champion or a Thane, because unfortunately Games Workshop haven't released rules for him when they released their Age of Sigmar rules. Grumble, grumble. The newest release is definitely my favourite. These Rangers are amazing and I really, really like them. I've seen some people on the Facebook pages that have been posting these up and they are stunning. So please everyone, go do yourself a favour, go sign up to the Patreon, get yourself some cheaper models. If you don't have a 3D printer and you want some of these models, my channel sponsor, UK Resin Prints, can sort you out. There is links down below. The reason that I've made this video is because I feel really strongly about new companies that are coming up and making some really, really nice alternatives that you can use in the game. Like I said before, this channel is very anti-gatekeeping. I want as many people into the hobby as possible, and I just want everyone out there enjoying the game with the nicest models that they can, and I really think that some of these sculpts are absolutely brilliant. So hopefully you've enjoyed seeing some of these models, and go check out their social media pages or the Patreon. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure to show off some of these models, and you'll be seeing some of these on my painting desk very soon, and hopefully I'll see them on yours too. Thank you very much. Take care. Goodbye.
In the night of stone we march so bold, with our sharp and hearts so cold. Through halls of old, our vengeance sparks in shadows dark. It's Dawi after dark. The grudge is held for years untold, and letters kept where blood runs cold in caverns deep. The drums they roar will settle scores in Dawi lore. The grudges held for years untold, in letters kept where blood runs cold. In caverns deep, the drums they roar will settle scores in Dawi lore. Under mountains, watchful gaze will end the feuds of ancient days. With iron will and spirit stark, will bring the light in Dawi after dark. Golden gems shall guide our fight through endless tunnels lost tonight. The hammer falls, the anvil sings, in Dawi's name our battle rings. The mountain forges fury red, our enemies shall quake with dread. In caverns grim our legends start, we strike as one in Dawi after dark. Under mountains watchful gaze will end the feuds of ancient days. With iron will and spirit stark, will bring the light in Dawi after dark. Under mountains watchful gaze will end the feuds of ancient days.